Hi, I'm Heidi with Onigo Stamping. Welcome to my craft corner. Today I have a really elegant card for you. To me it looks like a wedding card, but you could probably use it for other things as well, and it has a spot to hold a gift card. I can't wait to share it with you, but before I get started, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator, and I'd love to help you with any of your card making or rubber stamping needs, or if you have questions. Just go ahead and leave a comment or send me an email and let me know how I can help you. I would also love to hang out with you more, so come on over and join the Onigo Stamping Facebook group. You'll find the link to my Facebook group in the description to this video, and that is where all the fun happens. So I'd love to have you come and join me over there. In the description of this video, you're also going to find links to my website where you can see more still photos and the dimensions for today's projects. Of course, if you liked today's video, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Okay, Onigo, let's get stamping. For today's elegant wedding card, or you could probably use it for other occasions as well, but to me it says wedding card, I'm going to be using the Artistically inked stamp set and the matching dies, and then the coordinating Expressions in Ink pattern paper. So this fun stamp set kind of recreates that alcohol image, the alcohol inked images, kind of like, I don't even know how to explain. They're really, really detailed. This is a distinctive stamp set, which means there's just all sorts of layers and you're going to get different intensities of ink when you stamp it. So that's the Artistically inked stamp set. And then the artistic dies, let me show you these to you real quick. So you do have the dies that are going to cut out your floral images and your leaves and things, but then there are also, oops, pull this in. There's also these two big dies that cut out these detailed images, and we're going to be using one of those today. We're going to use the leaf one, and there's also this bundle of flowers, I guess we'll call it. I don't know what we'll call it. I'm going to set the leaf die aside. And then real quick, just to look at the Expressions in Ink Designer Series paper. This is so pretty. I don't know how well it shows up, but it has these gorgeous gold accents on here. And again, just trying to recreate the look of alcohol inks. So pretty. And I just pulled out one piece of each. You have all the florals, you have a stripe. And then of course on the back side, you don't have the gold accents on the back because they can only put those on one side. But then you have all these other pretty patterns, which I love and I'll probably never end up using, because I hate to not use the gold that's on the other side. But anyway, lots and lots of choices there. And of course you get 2 sheets of each in each pack. I just pulled out one to share with you today. So I'm going to be using Pale Papaya today. Let me pull out some pieces here for you. I have a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 inch cardstock. I'm going to start with this. And the first thing I want to do is I want to actually score this. So I'm going to pull out my paper cutter. And I'm going to use the scoring blade on my paper cutter to do this. Now, lots of people have scoreboards, and you could use that as well. I just use my paper cutter. I have it right here. It's really easy. So I'm going to start by scoring this at 4 1/4. So, and the scoring blade is this lighter gray one. So I'm just going to score that. And then I also want to score it at 7 inches because this is going to be a gift card holder. So we have to make kind of a fun, fancy fold on it. Just score it twice and put my trimmer aside. So here is my Pale Papaya cardstock. That gets a little bit hard to say, doesn't it? All right, my Pale Papaya cardstock, and I have 2 creases on here. You'll notice when you use the scoring blade, one side is going to be indented and one side has like a bump on it. You want the bump actually to be on the inside. You want to fold towards the bump. So I'm just going to fold that and give it a good crease with my bone folder. And then I'm going to do the second one as well. There we go. All right, let's start putting some stuff on here. So now I have some Designer Series paper. What I used for this is I grabbed that really pretty Pale Papaya floral and then the gold stripe. I'm going to start by putting on the Pale Papaya floral with just some multi-purpose glue. Grab my other one, I think. I think the other one has more glue in it, so let's start with that one. All right. And of course it's, there we go. Didn't quite want to start at first. So there's the first piece, and these are just gonna go right on the outside. So I'm gonna open up my card. This one is gonna go all the way to the right. These pieces are 2 inches by 5 1/4, I believe. And I'm gonna have all of the dimensions for today's card over on my website. Be sure to click over there if you wanna see the dimensions. My voice is just being, I got like a frog in my throat today, I guess. The dimensions are over there on my website, and you're going to find the link to my website in the description to this video. So I'm going to take the second piece, and these are both the same size. And this piece I'm going to put right here on the other side. And it's going to get folded over on it. So I'm going to grab my Stampin' Seal Plus because I want to use a nice firm, or what do I want to say? A nice strong, not firm, a nice strong tape on this, because you're going to be pulling your I just can't talk today. You're going to be pulling your gift card in and out. So I want to use a nice strong tape. So I have my gift card here because I like to use it as a placeholder. And then all I'm going to do, let me get this started just a little bit, is that I'm going to put the tape right on the edges over here. And I'm putting a little bit extra just to get it nice and snug in there. So I put that on just the sides, and then I'll go ahead and close it up just like that. And then I want to add just a little bit of funness to it. And I'll show you the gift card slides right in there. Isn't that cute? All right. So I'm going to grab this little piece of, I've lost my glue. Oh, here it is. I have a little strip of the stripe that I'm going to put over on this edge over here to give it just a little bit of decoration. So here's this very thin stripe over here. We'll line it up. And that just gives it a little bit something extra. And I do want to add just a little bit of white. So I have another piece that is 2 inches by 5 1/4. And this is just, you know, if you wanted to write something on your card, I think it just makes it look a little bit more finished. So this piece is just going to come right in here. There we go. And there's the inside of my card. Normally I start with the outside, but I decided to start with the inside today. So we're going to go ahead and close it. And then I have another piece of the striped designer series paper. And this piece is 5 1/4 by 2 1/2. And this is just going to go right on the front. I hope I measured this right. I did. All right. So this just goes right here on the front. Oh, isn't it so pretty with that gold? Oh, it looks pretty just like that, but we're gonna add decoration to this, of course. All right. So I have some scrap basic white cardstock, and I just want to do a little bit of stamping here. I'm going to start with some soft seafoam, and I'm going to stamp my leaves in soft seafoam. And that looks really, can you see that? It looks really, really wet. So what I'm actually going to do with these distinctive stamps, there's so much detail to them that it's really easy to get too much ink on your ink pad. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a plastic spoon that I have sitting here in my craft room, and I'm just going to push all the ink over. Now I promise you, you're not getting rid of the ink. It will redistribute itself. I'm just pushing it all to one side. And then I'm going to come in and ink that up again, and we'll stamp it a second time. And now you can see it's a lot lighter, but you have a lot more detail to it. It's really, really pretty. And I want to do the same thing with my Pear Pizzazz. You know what? The soft seafoam is lighter than the Pear Pizzazz, so I'm just going to take my stamp and just wipe it, just stamp it off on a piece of paper. I'm not going to worry about cleaning it. I have a feeling this is going to do the same thing, but let's check it out. So I'm just going to ink it up with the Pear Pizzazz. Oh, that's not too bad. I don't think we need to. That one looks pretty good. So we'll just ink that up again. I want to do 2 Pear Pizzazz. There we go. And then I'm going to grab my Pale Papaya, and I'm sure my Pale Papaya is really, really inky. Grab my Pale Papaya, and I want to grab this flower stamp. I'm going to stamp this flower right down here. Yeah, that's pretty inky. So I'm going to just wipe off my spoon. So I just have a Kleenex here. I'm just wiping off my spoon, and we'll just do the same thing. We'll just push that ink all the way to one side. Go. And we'll try this again. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's so pretty. It's lighter, but you just get a lot more detail in there. So there we go. I'll try one more. Okay. All right, so there are our flowers. We'll set that aside as well. And now we want to start cutting these out. So I'm going to grab my cutting plate. And I just have the magnetic plate for my Big Shot. And then I have my cutting plate on here. Yeah, I think it's about time for me to get a new cutting plate. That is pretty torn up, but it's still nice and flat because I always flip it over all the time. And I try to, you can see that I try to cut all the way to the edges so that the whole thing is getting used. That helps keep it nice and flat. I do sometimes, you know, when the die is jumping, I usually just move the paper though until I find a spot where the die will sit still. So this is going to take me just a minute. I'm going to cut out these images. I'm going to have to make about 3 passes through. I finished cutting and I cut out 3 of the leaf clusters and then 2 flowers. Now I want to cut one other thing. I'm going to cut out this leaf. I'm not even going to cut the whole thing because I only need some of the leaves. I'm going to cut it apart. What I have found though with these detail dies, I've seen lots of hacks to make it easier to get the little bits out. This is what has been working for me lately, and that is really the easiest for me because I keep scrap paper on my desk, right? So I just grab a piece of copy paper, a piece of scrap copy paper, and just lay that down underneath my die. Now I'm just going to get the top leaves on here because I really only need about 5 of the leaves. Like I said, I'm going to cut it apart. So I'm just going to lay that up and then cut this out. I will roll this through my die cut machine about 3 times though. I pushed that through my die cutting machine 3 times. So let me pull it out and we'll see what this gorgeous leaf does. See if it works for me today. All right, look at that. Just popped right out. And then this is going to come off here. And what we'll do is I'm just going to take that paper backing off, and all those little pieces just stick right to the copy paper. And there's our gorgeous leaf. I'm going to grab these leaves off the side though, because we might use those. So there we just, all those little pieces, they stuck right to that copy paper. So easy. And I don't know about you, but I have a giant stack of spare copy paper just sitting on my desk. All right, I have another piece of basic white cardstock. This cardstock is 1.5 by 3 inches. I'm going to grab some Evening Evergreen ink, and then I want to stamp this with the Best Wishes stamp that is in this stamp set. So just going to ink that up, and I'm going to put this in the lower left corner, just like that. And this is going to get put on a piece of Pale Papaya that is 1 3/4 by 3 1/4. That's just going to go right on there, and then we're going to put this on our card front, and then we're going to actually start layering up the flowers. So I'm going to put this towards the bottom. And I think I'm going to put it a little bit more towards the left instead of straight on center, because the flowers are going to come in and take up a bunch of space. So we're just going to put this right in the front. And I always like to, I flip it upside down and lay it where I want it, and then I know where to put the glue, because I don't want to put any glue over here because we don't want that part stuck down, or we wouldn't be able to open the card. So I just flip it upside down like that, and then I know where I want to put the glue. So we'll just lay this right on here. So that is stuck down there very nicely. And now I'm going to start layering, building up my flowers. I want to start with one of the Pear Pizzazz pieces. I'm going to grab my silicone mat here. Try to stay not messy. We'll see how that goes. So I have one of the Pear Pizzazz pieces, and then I'm going to cut apart these gold floral, because I use the gold foil on this. I'm going to cut apart these leaves because I want to actually use them as individual leaves instead of as a big cluster. So let me see. And it's okay if the bottoms aren't perfect, because most of that is going to be underneath the flowers anyway. So just cut those apart, and then I'm going to start layering these. I just want to put a little drop of glue in some of the bigger areas. Of course, now my glue is not coming out unless I get too much of it, which is usually the case. And then, of course, I keep a little piece of, oh, it's got bits stuck in it. I'm gonna have to clean this off. So I have a little piece of sponge that I have just in a binder clip here, and I just sponge off some of that extra. That helps keep the glue from gushing out. You want to be careful though not to, so now I have glue in this area, and you want to keep that off the gold foil, which I often find to be a tricky bit, kind of hard. I seem to always manage to get little bits of glue where I don't want them. That is my luck. All right, I'm just trying to pick the leaf I like the best. It's gonna go the direction that I want it to go. All right, so there's my leaves. Put a little bit of glue over here too. Right, now I'm going to glue my first flower to this one. It doesn't have to be perfect here because this is all going to get glued afterwards. So there's my first flower, and this is going to get glued right in here. So now I'll go ahead and I'll put glue. I want to make sure I put glue in the right spot here. Yeah, I think I can pretty much put glue all over back here. So this will really help hold it down. So we'll put this first flower over here on this side, and then I'll just hold that for a minute. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to do something. Oh, you know what I didn't do? So before this glues itself down, although I left that open over there, so this is good because actually I'm going to glue stuff underneath here. Sometimes I do that, you know, I putz with stuff and I end up sliding things underneath other places. So I'm going to take the soft seafoam leaves, and I'm actually going to slide those underneath this flower. I think I want them like that. And then I want to add a gold leaf in here. I don't know that I want that one though. How about this one? Oh, that one will be good. They kind of like, I don't know what I want to say. They point towards different directions. So different leaves just look a little bit different. It really doesn't matter though. I'm sure, you know, when it all got done, it wouldn't matter which leaf you put where, but I'm just so picky sometimes. Now I have the other flower, and I'm actually going to come in with some dimensionals, or a dimensional. What do I want to do? Because I want to make sure, well, we're going to just play with this just a little bit. So I'm going to set that on there to see what where it's going to be. And then I want to see where I want to put this other. All right, so we're going to put this leaf down here. And this is another one of the Pear Pizzazz leaves. So this is just going to go down here. And we'll add some more of the gold leaves. I'm sure I'm getting these. Try not to get glue on them, on the front sides of them. So we'll put this one right here. And then how about this one right here? Oh, that'll be pretty. I just love the gold foil on here. It just looks so pretty, and it ties in so well with this gorgeous pattern paper. It's unbelievable. Oh, oh, so pretty. All right. There's my gold leaves. Now I'll add a couple dimensionals on the back of here, and we'll add the second flower to the front too. Move my silicone craft sheet out of the way. All right, so there are my two flowers on the front there. Isn't that pretty? We're gonna do one more little thing just to kind of jazz this up even more. Make it a little bit more over the top. I'm gonna grab, so this is the Expressions in Ink ephemera pack. And I'm just gonna open this up. It comes with all these gold accents. I'm not gonna use the gold accents today. But in this pack as well are some self-adhesive sequins. And that's actually what I want to grab out of here. So here's the self-adhesive sequins. And they're just kind of like a clear, not even clear, they're like shimmery. So I'm just going to take these off. I want to put one right here. A second one over here, and then how about a third one? Oops, this one I think lost its, I think that one lost its adhesive backing. All right, we'll grab a third one, and I think that one's going to go right down here. So there we go. There's our, you know what? Peel this off. So I do this all the time when I'm putting on sequins and things. I will often sit here and play with them until I get them like just in just the right spot, right? Like, I don't know, it has to be perfect. Well, on the sample it worked better. Isn't that always the case? On the sample it worked. All right, let's go with that. There we go. There is our gift card holder. And isn't that pretty? Oh, so pretty. And then we can open it up and we can just tuck our little gift card right inside there and write a message, and it's all ready to go. So, so pretty. Let me show you. I have another card using this paper in a completely different color. So let me show you this. This is using some shaded spruce, just a really, really pretty green, again with more of the gold foil. And here is that other detail die that I cut out for this one. Oh, isn't that pretty? And on this one, I want to show you real quick. Before I leave you, let me give you a little hint on what I did on this one. You'll notice on the die, if I lay this die right on here, there's this whole other flower over here that is not on my card. That is because I didn't like the way the look, like there wasn't enough of this sticking out. It wasn't working for me. So I actually cut off that flower. And I have it right here, I'll show you. I actually cut off that flower. It would have been right in here underneath there. I cut that off. So it's just in the upper left-hand corner. So always think about that. You can always cut your dies apart too. You don't have to keep them just like they come. There's the 2 cards I made using the Expressions in Ink Designer Series paper and the Artistically inked stamps and dies. Thank you so much for joining me. Wasn't that a fabulous card? I hope that you liked it as much as I did. If you liked today's video, go ahead and like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and then come on back and see me again for more tips, techniques, and inspiration. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.